Yo, what's good, Grateful family? Welcome in. Welcome back to the Grateful Gab Sports Huddle. I'm Grateful Dave. My cousin Papa Dennis, he will not be in studio today. He's still under the weather. Make sure y'all keep him in y'all prayers. Excuse me. Got the daily verse coming, and then the Sports Huddle rundown will get started. So stay tuned to the end. Again, we got a lot of stuff to cover. If you was here Thursday, you know what type of information I'm going to be giving today. Big emphasis on the a championship weekend, right? We had some games start off yesterday. Looking forward to it, but we're going to continue to, I'm going to continue to give insight today on the rest of the matchups for this weekend. So stay tuned. Be on the lookout for that. Today's episode is being brought to you by Sugarcane Sweet Shop. And again, this is the Sports Hub. Daily verse for the date of December 6, 2025 derives from the book of Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 3, and it states as follows. By wisdom, a house is built up, and by discernment it is made secure. Amen. Again, it's from the book of Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 3. And just as Jesus told us, right, build our house on rock, not on sand. That's where the discernment comes in. The discernment to make your house secure, your foundational, your spiritual home secure, right? Build it on rock, not on sand. So again, looking forward to today's sports huddle. Got a lot to cover. Get into the rundown, and the rundown is as follows. Thursday night football recap. I'll be covering the matchup between the Lions and the Cowboys, and what does that do for the NFL, the NFC in general, and how that looks after that matchup, and the key matchups for Week 14 in the NFL. Also, NCAA football championship weekend. We did have 3 matchups last night in different conferences. One conference for sure. One conference winner for last night is definitely, prevailing themselves into that college football playoff spot, if you ask me. Also, a look ahead to today's matchups, right? We got all the big conference matchups today. The Big 12 kicking off later on today at noon. The biggest game of the day, in my eyes, SEC championship game. Then followed by the 2 games later on tonight, the ACC championship game and the Big 10 championship game. So looking forward to covering that. And also I will give my winners and see how that shifts the college football playoff projection, and how that shifts the chart of 12, and see, who gets in finally, the final 12. That's going to be my prediction based on the championship winners from this weekend, and also just overall the teams that are still in the hunt for that 12 spot playoff run. NBA season, NCAA men's and women's top 25, and the National Hockey League. So as I kick off the sports huddle today, ladies and gentlemen, Thursday night football. Thursday night football was a pretty solid game, right? The Cowboys lost, which I'm always happy about. So Lions defeated the Cowboys 44-30. We did have a record-breaking performance from Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs became the youngest player to have the most touchdowns in his career. I think he tied Barry Sanders with 48 touchdowns, if I'm not mistaken. 48 overall touchdowns in that performance from last week, from last Thursday. Overall, pretty high scoring games. The only thing that stuck out about the Lions defense, because both teams did put up a lot of points. The Lions defense was able to get out the Dak Prescott, right? Dak Prescott did lose his leading wide receiver in that game. CeeDee Lamb came to play. He ended up having a concussion. The the Lions lost their safety, Brian Branch, with a torn Achilles, so he's out for the remainder of the season, right? So a lot of different things happened in this game, but overall it was still pretty solid. Jared Goff had a pretty solid game. He went 25 for 34 for 309 yards and 1 touchdown. Dak Prescott, he went 31 for 47 with 376 yards, 2 interceptions and 1 touchdown. So, overall, the Lions, knew what they had to do going on this next 4-game stretch, and the Cowboys knew what they had to do, right? But they just couldn't get it done. But they still have an opportunity in front of them, right? They go on the road next Sunday night against the Vikings at home. They host the Chargers. Then they go on the road against the Commanders and the Giants, right? Those should be 2, fairly winnable games. So they should at least probably end the season maybe 2-2, if that. But that was definitely a game that they needed to win to keep their playoff hopes alive. It seems like their playoff hopes have kind of went down the drain, but a lot still has to happen, right? Eagles still got to play winning football right? Things of that nature. So they still have an opportunity, but we're looking to put the nail in the coffin. So we, by winning games. That's what we're looking to do as the Eagles. So looking forward to it. Current standings, based off that matchup in the NFC, is as follows. So the Detroit Lions, they fill in that eighth spot right now. So if the playoffs ended today, they will currently be in the playoffs, right? They will be one of those wild card teams. But other than that, they would be a wild card team. Yeah. So other than that, I think they would be if the playoffs started today. Let's see here. No, they would be because it's 8 teams. 8 teams from each bracket go to the playoffs. So yeah, they at the number 8 spot right now, and then the Dallas Cowboys are at the number 10 spot. So again, you still have things to work on, things to be able to do over these next couple of games. Right, the Panthers are in the hunt. Cowboys still in the hunt. The Detroit Lions are trying to stay relevant and stay in position to make the playoffs. So it's gonna be good, and it's gonna be it's some good football this weekend as well. So as we look ahead to NFL this weekend, Week 14 concludes with some matchups from the Jets, Dolphins. We got a big matchup in the NFC North. Right, excuse me, the AFC North. The Ravens host the Steelers for their first matchup of the year. Right, both of these teams are on a decline right now. Right, we had the Steelers lose last week to the Bills, right? We had the Ravens lose last week to the Bengals. Both teams got dominated. So now the NFC North race is tight, right? It's not wide open anymore. The NFC North race is right there. We got two teams at the top of the NFC North. Excuse me, the AFC North. I don't know why I keep saying NFC North. The AFC North between the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Both of those teams sitting at 6-6. Now here you go. Got the Bengals. Bengals are 3-1 in the division, right? The Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers are 2-1 in the division, but they have better overall records. So now Joe Burrow's back, right? So one of these teams are going to win, obviously, but also Cincinnati's remaining schedule as well. They're looking to be able to come out on top with a winning record to win these last 5 in a row. They have a big matchup against the Bills, which is an AFC opponent, but not a divisional opponent. But they go on a road against the Bills. It's going to be a huge matchup for the Bills. Also, seeing a fully powered Bengals offense. Well, not fully powered. They still have what's old boy name? T. Higgins. T. Higgins still unavailable, but Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow. They give themselves an opportunity. They feel confident in knowing that they'll be able to win. I believe T. Higgins is still injured, but if T. Higgins not injured, even better opportunities for the Bengals to go in and have an impact. So let's see here. So okay, he cleared the concussion protocol, so he'll be available tomorrow against the Bills. So again, a fully powered offense for the Bengals. To wrap up the season, they're looking to be able to, close out the season the right way, go on a winning streak here, and close that gap in the division. Because again, they already lead the division overall wins with 3-1 right now. So the rest of their schedule, they have the Bills tomorrow. Then they host the Ravens again. Then they host the Ravens this time. They beat the Ravens on the road. Then they play the Dolphins. They play the Bengals, and then they have the Browns at the end of the year. So this is definitely a schedule that is winnable for the Bengals to win out. Right, their biggest test right now in front of them is most likely the Bills. So that's a huge conference race to take a look at, divisional race to take a look at, and that should be exciting. Buccaneers, right? Buccaneers trying to survive in the NFC South. Right, NFC South right now is being led by the Carolina Panthers. Right, actually, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers must have a tiebreaker over the Panthers. They beat the Panthers earlier this year. Did they? They haven't played them yet. So that's interesting. That's interesting. I want to know why the Buccaneers are in first place right now in the NFC South, but it doesn't matter, right? Those two teams are neck and neck in the NFC South right now. Ravens, excuse me, not Ravens, Buccaneers coming off a win last week against the Cardinals. Also, the Panthers coming off a win last week against the Rams, one of the top teams in the NFL right now. So that should be a big matchup. So the Buccaneers are looking to handle business tomorrow against the Saints. To wrap up their matchups for this year. I believe this is the second time in the last 4 weeks that they've played. The Buccaneers dominated the Saints at home 23-3 the last time they met. Saints looking to be able to come in and be more competitive this time, maybe shake up the NFC South. The NFC South has been owned by the Buccaneers the last 3 seasons. So the Panthers have come along. They're looking to say something different about that, and they have a good opportunity to do that as well. So that should be something to look out for. Another divisional race down in the NFC South. Jaguars Colts, right? A huge AFC South matchup, right? Jaguars currently ahead of the Colts in the AFC South right now. So that game is going to be huge, highly competitive tomorrow down in Jacksonville tomorrow at 1 p.m. on CBS. Colts Jaguars matchup, right? A game the Colts need to win. Colts have been on a decline right now. A team just like the Eagles, right? Who've kind of lost their footing, but who's still capable of competing at a high level and winning good games. They got a great defense on one side of the ball, got tremendous offensive weapons on the other side of the ball, right? Daniel Jones have kind of took that step back, right? He's kind of giving that Danny Dimes feel again instead of that Danny Dollars, right? He didn't turn the ball over last week, which is good. That kind of separates him from the pack with his turnovers. But if he can continue to play clean, solid football for the Colts, they still have an opportunity to do something big. So again, a huge matchup for them in the division tomorrow at 1 p.m. on CBS. We got a lot of divisional matchups tomorrow, it seems like. So a lot of things to look out. And again, the AFC South race as well is something to look out for. Again, the Jaguars started off rocky, right? Found ways to win, but now they sit ahead of the Colts and the Houston Texans, which the Houston Texans are coming as well. I really think maybe the Houston Texans might actually win the division because they're already 4-1 in the division. They have one more divisional game. If they go 5-1 in the division and end up with better records than them, they're going to win the division. So the Jacksonville Jaguars and Indianapolis Colts are both sitting at 8-4. So one of those teams are going to lose it. So one of them are going to be 8-5, and then the Texans are looking to win again this weekend, continue their winning streak, and they go on the road against the Chiefs Sunday night tomorrow, which is going to be a huge matchup for them. So they find a way to get over the Chiefs hump. Man, the Texans are probably going to wrap up the AFC South division for real, because defense is playing lights out, right? C.J. Stroud is starting to find his way and become more confident again in the NFL. The game is starting to slow down to him, even though people know defenses know kind of what he does, good and bad or whatever. He's just kind of, he's getting to his form again to where, all right, he's understanding the NFL now. Like, so he's playing at a high level currently. So, I mean, I just love tight races around the NFL because this makes the back end season good when it's a huge gap between conference lead or division leaders or conference leaders. It's kind of boring. But right, even with the AFC, the AFC East. Oh, yeah, with the Bills and the Patriots in their division, right? The Bills are right there too, right? Even though the Patriots have kind of opened that gap, right? The AFC East, right? They opened that gap. They have a 3-game lead over the Bills, but the Bills still have opportunities to do something there. So I mean, it's exciting. I love to see it, and just continue to pull up here on the Sports Huddle to get insight and information on NFL, football, all other sports that I cover here on the Sports Huddle. Also, Browns Titan, right? Nobody really cares about that game, but Shador Sanders will be getting a start again um, against, Cam Ward. Cam Ward was the number one pick this past draft. Shador Sanders was projected to be a top 5, top 10 pick. Ended up getting picked way in the later rounds. So I know Shador Sanders is looking to go in and outduel Cam Ward to show people that, hey, I could have been up there too. I should have been up there as one of those top 5, top 10 quarterbacks. So the Titans just trying to, find some type of way, man. Like I said, honestly, I feel like this coach, he hasn't been fired yet, which is, kind of hilarious. But I guess they're giving him time to kind of put his team together. So which is granted, right? But one win and you luckily got that one win is it's crazy to me. But whatever. 1 p.m. tomorrow on Fox. I'll be looking forward to tuning into that game to see the matchup between Cam Ward and Shador Sanders. The Vikings host the Commanders. The Commanders are looking to get back Jaden Daniels tomorrow. Jaden Daniels is expected to suit up for the Commanders tomorrow, and preferably he'll be there for the rest of the season. Right, the Commanders just need some type of motivation, some type of rhythm and consistency going into the offseason. Right, he's been injured multiple games this year. I think he's missed over half the games already due to injuries. So he'll be looking to close the season out healthy, and again get the Commanders in a position to where they can be competitive towards the end of the year and find that motivation, find that rhythm that they had from last year. from just reaching the NFC Championship game in his first season, right? Health is always a big issue for the NFL, for any sports, right? Being unhealthy is definitely always going to put you in a position to where you're not at your best, especially with the quarterback position for football. So I'm looking forward to see him back on the field. Then we got the Falcons hosting the Seahawks tomorrow, right? Seahawks is looking to continue their dominance on the road, and there's just their dominance performance overall, right? Sam Darnold has been consistent for most of the year. He did have a flimsy game where he turned the ball over multiple times in that loss against the Rams, but they still only lost by 2 points. But ever since then, they've beat the Titans, they've beaten the Titans, they've beaten the Vikings, and they go on the road tomorrow against the Falcons. So they're looking to advance to their 10th win on the season to advance to 10-3. Also, the Raiders Broncos, right? Uh, AFC West divisional matchup. AFC West, these type of matchups are always kind of iffy. Just even earlier this year, right? It was a close game between the Broncos. It was a 10-7 game on the road in Denver for the Raiders. So the Raiders host the Broncos today, right? Geno Smith and that Raiders team is looking to compete and put up more points. Both of these teams, right? Like I said, those two type of teams always kind of play each other gritty and nasty. And I expect it to kind of be a game like that as well. I expect to have more points in this game, but I expect it to be maybe a 14-17 game, maybe a 13-10 game, right? Not too many more points, but it could be. But I just know both of these teams are going to come play hard and try to give it their best. So that's the thing about divisional matchup. No one cares what your record is when you come to the division. They just want to play hard and beat you. And the Broncos are on a rise, and the Raiders are just trying to dig themselves out of a grave because that's a team that I did not expect to be this bad, but they suck. So the Packers Bears, right? Huge divisional matchup in the NFC North, right? NFC North division, right? Bears number one in the NFC right now. They're at the top of the pack. Packers, they coming along, right? They're dominating the division right now, and they're just trying to find their stride. So in the NFC North, again, the Bears are at the top currently, but they're only 1-2 in the division. The Packers are 3-0 in the division, right? The Chicago Bears have only beaten the Vikings, and they barely beat them. So the Bears are looking to wrap up their season. They have three more divisional matchups. They got the Packers tomorrow at 4:25 p.m. on Fox. They're looking to win that game. Then they got the Packers again on Saturday night, December 20th. Then they have the Lions to wrap up the season. So they have the Packers two more times, the Lions one more time, and they need to win those games, right? They don't want to have a great record and come in as a wild card spot, right? Because all the divisional leaders are going to get home games. Even though if they do have a wild card spot with the record they have, they will have a home game as well. Maybe not, because I think they will probably play one of the divisional leaders. So you don't want to have a better record than your team, than your division, but you don't win a division, right? You want to be able to, you know, so these last three divisional games are important for the Bears and the Packers. They saying, hey, we right there, right? Without a tie, we had the same record as you, right? Or it would have been a loss or a win, but without that tie, they have leeway, right? So now the Packers are looking to advance to 4-0. They swept the Lions, right? They're looking to sweep the pack. They're looking to sweep the whole division. They swept the Lions, best team in the division by far on paper going into the season, right? Their most competitive team to play. Also, you had the Bears. I mean, not the Bears. The Bears. Like I said, I thought the Bears were going to be better. I didn't think they're going to be 9-3 better, but here they are, right? This is the Bears team, believing themselves, believing their coach, right? Believing that the culture he's brought to that organization, and they're playing high level football right now. So huge matchup for the Bears and Packers tomorrow at 4:25 p.m. on Fox. The Cardinals host the Rams tomorrow in an NFC West matchup. The Cardinals notified the sports world that Kyler Murray would not be joining them for the remainder of the season. Like I said, I'm pretty sure this is his last year in the NFL, not last year in the NFL, last year as a Cardinal. I really don't know what team he's going to go to. Honestly, I can't really think of a team right now that's too much in need of a quarterback. Like I said, maybe the Saints. The Saints is a team that kind of needs a quarterback. With some type of experience, right? He might flourish under a type of Kellen Moore offense. Let's see where else we could probably think of that a team just needs a quarterback. I mean, the Dolphins could. I mean, you can probably go, be picked about the Dolphins compete against Tua. Why not? They need some type of competition down there. Let's see who else probably need a quarterback. but maybe the Vikings, but JJ McCarthy, he hasn't been healthy consistently. Let me see here. Shoot, the Raiders suck. Why not go compete in Las Vegas against Geno Smith? He's going out. He's older than Kyler, so Kyler might have an opportunity to kind of submit himself there. Let's see who else. All other teams kind of really already spoken for. I mean the Titans. The Titans can use any type of help. You can go over there to the Titans. But yeah, I mean, it's just I don't know. The NFL is, you really have to submit yourself, especially when you come from being a number one pick, a starter, a big name guy. They're betting on you to be that guy long term, and when that doesn't happen, I think it's kind of hard to revive careers, right? It's kind of hard to just go and teams bet on you, right? When they didn't see you succeed as the big pick, that all in pick from one organization. I think it's kind of hard for other teams to say, "Hey, we're going to bet on you as well." You know what I mean? So I really don't know, but that's my take on it. But he will not be with the Cardinals for the rest of the year. And then again, Sunday night Chiefs Texas matchup, and then Monday night we got the Eagles on the road in LA against the Chargers. Both teams sitting at 8-4. Monday night 8:15 p.m. on ABC. Right, a game that we have to win. A game that we have to win. You know, the noise around the locker rooms is in a positive manner, right? And guys just, spoke about putting in work this week, what they always do. They always put in work, but this work this week is more detailed, more, more technique focused, right? More execution focused, right? All in all aspects, right? Mentally, physically, right? All those type of things. Doing the things that don't take skill to do, right? Knowing it counts, watching the ball, right? Little stuff like that. Stop shooting themselves in the foot. Stop shooting themselves in the foot, right? They had a little time to get off, have a couple of days of rest, try to get healthy, get stronger. As they take this last stretch of games on, right. You got a Monday night game on the road against the Chargers. Then we're back at home against the Raiders, right? These should be 2 wins right here to wrap up the AFC West. And then we got the Commanders, the Bills on the road, and then we wrap up the season with the Commanders at home. So these next 5 games, I really need all 5 games. I want all 5 games to be won, but if they give me 4 of the next 5, I will feel kind of okay going into the playoffs. But I want all 5 really, because we can beat all 5 of these teams, right? We can beat any team in the NFL. We already have 8 teams in the NFL season right now, and we haven't played complete football yet, and that's scary. So when we play complete football, what type of team are we going to be? I'm not saying, hey, y'all, go back to the Super Bowl. It's not. It's one day. It's one game at a time. I don't expect nobody to say, oh, we're going to repeat back to back. If we do, that's cool. But I want to see y'all play complete Eagles football and get beat by another team. And if they do that, if we play complete Eagles football and the other team beat us, they just happen to be the better team. But if we continue to beat ourselves and shoot ourselves in the foot and commit 15, 20 penalties a game, that's not winning football. That's not us playing at our best, right? So play out our best. Let's make it happen, and let's just get it done. So I'm excited for it, and I'm looking forward to see how the NFL, how the season continues. So looking forward to it. So as we move on to NCAA football, again, championship week started yesterday. I'm excited for it. Looking forward to see how it continues this weekend. So, again, championship weekend is here, ladies and gentlemen. It's so much to cover. Are you enjoying today's episode? This episode of the Grateful Gab podcast is proudly sponsored by Sugarcane Sweet Shop. At Sugarcane Sweet Shop, every dessert is made with love, creativity, and a sprinkle of sweetness. From the signature cookies and cupcakes to custom cakes for every occasion, Sugarcane is available to make your moments a little more special. Follow them on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook at Sugarcane Sweet Shop to see what's fresh from the oven. Again, the picks, the college football playoff shakeup, right? I mean, this is the time of the year. I love championship weekend, and it's a bittersweet moment because we know the NCAA football, the college football season is coming to its end, right? We're gonna have the playoff kicking off, I believe, the week after next. I believe it starts on the 20th, if I'm not mistaken. But you know, maybe not even the 20th, maybe next weekend, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see here. I believe it's next weekend. But that being said, right, this is it just felt like September was here. Now, we're gonna be yeah, it's gonna be the weekend after next. So yeah, because the Army Navy game is next week is next week, and then we're gonna have the college football playoff game start December 19th. So that Friday game, we're gonna have one matchup for the college football playoff first round, and then Saturday, December 20th is going to be the remainder of the game. So yeah, so that December 19th through the December 20th time frame is going to be the college football playoff weekend. So we still have about a month and a half left of college football because the college football playoff championship won't begin until probably like mid-January. The championship game will probably be that first end of that first weekend of January. The college football championship will be here. So we got about a month, about 35 more days left, for college football. So I'm excited for it, and we shall see how it plays out. But last night actually it was some pretty solid championship matchups from the smaller division. We had the American Championship game last night, and we had the Sun Belt Championship game last night, and we also had the Mountain West Championship game last night as well. But neither one of those teams were ranked, and neither one of those teams will make the college football playoffs. But last night in the American Championship game, we had number 20 Tulane defeat number 24 North Texas 34-21. Tulane has always been the projected winner over these last couple of weeks since the college football playoff drops. They have been the projected winner to come out of the American League. So the American Championship winner, number 20 Tulane, will submit themselves in the college football playoffs. They'll probably take up that 11th seed that's kind of vacant right now. It's occupied by BYU and Miami, but those two teams will be out. Either one of those two teams will be out. BYU might make it as well because BYU could potentially beat Texas Tech, but if they do, they won't be at the 11th spot. So the 11th spot and that 12th spot are most likely go to the American Championship winner, which is Tulane, and then also the ACC Championship winner. I heard people say last night that the ACC won't have a spot in a college football playoff, and I thought that was absurd. Right? If Virginia goes in and beats Duke, they'll definitely be in the college football playoffs. If Duke wins, they'll most likely be. Maybe not. Maybe Duke might not be in there if they win. I think they should be still because they won the AFC. They won the ACC championship game. But most likely, if Virginia's going to win, if Virginia's win the ACC championship game, they're definitely going to be in that spot. They might be at number 12, but they're going to be in the college football playoff, in my opinion. So if the American League can make it, the ACC champion should make it as well. That's my take. So I'm looking forward to it. And again, the current rankings right now for the top 12 are as follows. So with with Tulane winning the American Championship, I believe they take that 11th spot right now. So right now, the 11th spot belongs to BYU, but I think BYU gets replaced with Tulane, especially if they lose. BYU is out for sure, and Tulane is definitely in that number 11 spot. So again, games today, right? Games today, the top 12 as of right now is as follows: Miami at 12, BYU at 11, Notre Dame at 10, Alabama at 9, Oklahoma University at 8, Texas A&M at 7, number 6 Ole Miss, number 5 Oregon. The top 4 teams are Texas Tech University at number 4. Excuse me, the number 3 team is the Georgia Bulldogs, go Dogs. Number 2 is Indiana University, and number 1 is Ohio State. So again, Tulane has cemented themselves in the college football playoff. In my opinion, they won the American League Championship, so they earned a spot in the college football playoffs. And what a way for this the head coach of Tulane right now, which he is the new head coach of Florida. But what a way to go out on top, right? You had an opportunity to compete at a high level for the American Conference, right? American Championship. You end up winning the American League Championship, right? Now you got a job offer from Florida. Florida has named you as their new head coach. You are, um, you just won the American League Championship. Now you're going into the playoffs with the mindset of seeing you showing these recruits that, hey, I took a small school to the playoffs. What do you think I'm gonna do in Florida? Even though you got a lot of work to do. The SEC is not just a place you come in. You're just gonna run the SEC, right? Kirby Smart was a little different. Georgia program, we've always had good players, and the way he is as coach is different, right? So I mean, I'm not saying these guys don't have opportunity, but we know who runs the division, right? Them dogs. Top 2, Georgia, Alabama, easily. Been the last 10, 15 years, those have been the 2 teams who've run the SEC, right? Sprinkled in, you had LSU that one year they sprinkled in, but consistently overall, Georgia, Florida has been the top dogs in the SEC, point intended as well. So yeah, the coach here, they had his name here earlier. I don't know his name. I don't remember his name, But the gentleman, man, he's playing, he's coaching high level, right? I appreciate his energy yesterday on the field, right? He had those guys fired up. I love high energy coaches, right? I pride myself as being a higher energy coach. And that's what it takes, man, to motivate your players. John Sumrall is the coach there. And also Billy Napier, he got the job at JMU. He's going to be the JMU head coach. And JMU actually won last night as well. They won the Sun Belt Conference over Troy last night as well. But I don't see JMU making the college football playoff. Again, Tulane and the American League champion. The American League is kind of more competitive than the Sun Belt Conference, but still a great accomplishment for JMU putting on for Virginia to be able to win the Sun Belt Championship last night over Troy, 31-14. So the nitty gritty, boy, I'm looking forward to it. Again, I'm looking forward to hear them dogs barking. I'm just, honestly, man, I just want the Georgia Bulldog to show up and play in a style of football to where they're not scared, where they don't look scared of Alabama, right? Come hit them in the mouth, man. Stop. It's at one point of time that when you're getting bullied, you just gotta turn around and sock the bully in the face, right? Stop letting them poke you in the back of the head. Stop letting them poke you in your back, right? Turn around and be the big dog that you are. You want to be able to come in with your chest puffed up and play hard and bite ankles on every other team, but when you see an elephant get in front of you, or you get scared. But guess what? They one elephant and we're a pack of dogs. So let's roll, man. Let's roll and bite and scratch the claw and find a way to win back-to-back SEC championship. See you later, baby. We have to find a way to be competitive, man, to go and fight and claw and scratch. And I think these guys are ready, right? I feel like they feel like they let one slip in earlier this year where they didn't get it done. But we're gonna get it done now, right? And people saying, oh, you know, when it comes to Alabama and Georgia, Alabama beat Georgia earlier. We have to look at that, but we only have one loss, right? We only have one loss. They're a two-loss team, and we didn't lose to no unranked opponents, right? We've had a schedule of ranked individuals. We've played at least like 6, 7 ranked teams this year on our schedule just alone, and all of them were in the SEC. Every out of the 8 SEC teams we played, I'm pretty sure 6 of them was ranked, if I'm not mistaken. If I go back and look at the schedule, first SEC game on the road against Tennessee, they were ranked, right? Then we look back on my internet here, not internet slow. This ESPN app is always messing up, right? We played Tennessee on the road, they was number 15. We played Alabama at home, they were number 17, right? The only two, okay, yeah, we played Texas, they was ranked, Georgia Tech was ranked. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of our 11 games were against ranked opponents, right? And then not only that, the SEC in general, the SEC is the best conference in college football, right? So we play guys that are, and then some of these teams were ranked at one point in time. Auburn was ranked, right? Who else was ranked at one point in time? Not Kentucky. Florida was ranked, right? All these teams were ranked in the top 25 at one point in the year that we've played, except Mississippi State and Kentucky, and out of the big conferences, right? But other than that, man, but that's not we don't have to sell ourselves to the media, and I don't care about all that. The regular season is done with. We have an opportunity in front of us to have something done that hasn't been done in a long time, right? To be back-to-back SEC champion. That's what it's about. People always love to say, oh, yeah, it don't matter, blah, 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 blah. No, it does matter. Like conference championship, yeah, granted, you don't have to make the conference championship to make college football playoff, which is okay. But when you're the best of the best, that's what you want to do. That's what you set to do, especially in the SEC. When you come into the SEC, that should be your mindset. I want to win the SEC championship. People say, "Oh, you don't think Texas A&M, care about getting to the SEC championship?" I bet they did. I bet when they lost to Texas, they felt bad because that was their first opportunity to make the SEC championship ever. You don't think they wanted to be there to represent that program, represent that school, right? That brings recruits, that brings so much revenue, that brings so many different things to your program. Texas A&M ain't gonna be the cream of the crop for forever in the SEC. This season was a blip, right? This season was, oh man, like, oh, Texas A&M came to play. Dude, they're not gonna be like that next year. They might be there 3 more years from now, but they're not gonna be that team that they were this year, right? To be a top 5 team basically since week 3 of the season. They're not going to be that next year. But I can tell you who will be like that next year: Georgia, Alabama, right? LSU maybe. Lane Kiffin talking outside his neck, tripping, right? But those programs have the stability, have the the talent around them, the recruiting cycles, right? They have that name on them. The Floridas are the SECs, right? The Auburn's even recruit well, right? The Ole Misses, right? Well, with Lane Kiffin being there, but still they even gonna recruit well still. So Texas A&M, the Texas, right? Yeah, but whatever. So the conference championship still means something to me. I know it means something to them dogs, and we gonna make it happen, baby. So and I think Alabama gonna show up and play as well, right? Alabama always has that little edge on us for some reason, right? I don't know if it's the confidence of the A on them, right? They're just knowing that, man, that's what I come to this school for, to beat Georgia, right? And that's what they do. They beat us, right? 1-7 on the Kirby Smart against Alabama, right? That one game we won a national championship, but we want to win the SEC championship, right? We've played these guys in championship games so many times, but I've never seen us beat them in the SEC championship game, and I want to see it today. So, dog, let's stand up, man. Let's stand up. Let's get it done. Let's play all out, man. Give it all on the field. Leave it all on the field. Play by play. Keep chopping. Series by series. Keep fighting. And let's get it done, man. Let's come out of Atlanta on top as the back-to-back SEC champions. Go Dogs. With that being said, when the Georgia Bulldogs do beat the Crimson Tide later on today, um, I don't know. I don't know if Alabama makes it, right? I don't know if Alabama makes it. Am I saying that they're not one of the top 12 teams in the country? I'm not saying that, but the committee is going to look off based off resume again, right? Again, the top 12, right? You already have 3 teams in the SEC that are going to make it for sure. Georgia, 4 teams they're going to make it for sure out of the SEC. Georgia, Mississippi, Texas A&M, Oklahoma. And then if Alabama wins, you're going to have 5 teams, because if Georgia loses to Alabama, Georgia will probably take that number 9 spot. Alabama and Georgia will probably switch spots, right? So that still leaves Ole Miss, Texas A&M, and Oklahoma in that 6, 7, 8 spot, right? We might move up over one of those teams. We might move to like the number 8 spot or the number 6 spot, because we might move to the number 6 spot, the number 7 spot, because we beat Ole Miss. And if we lose to Alabama, Alabama get that first round bye because they'll be SEC champions. But we'll probably still get that number 7 spot, because they'll probably move Texas A&M up to number 6 and move us down to number 7 because we beat Ole Miss. So we got that head-to-head over them. So there's still 5 teams right there in the top 10 of the playoffs. Right, then you got the Ohio State, Indiana matchup. I'm going to take Ohio State just because I think they're a more dominant team. I think they're more they're used to this moment, right? The Indiana, they haven't won a Big Ten. They haven't been in the Big Ten in decades. But not only that, they haven't won the Big Ten since like the 60s, if I'm not mistaken, or something like that. It's been a long time. So I'm not sold on them and their schedule. Ohio State either. Even though Indiana has been tested more than Ohio State, I'm still really not sold on what Indiana brings to the table. Right? They did have a huge road game against Oregon earlier this year up in Eugene. They beat them 30-20. Also, they had a game on the road against Penn State. Right? With a James Franklin with a team not being led by James Franklin, the Indiana barely got it done. They end up beating Penn State on the road. So I just think overall Indiana has been more tested than Ohio State. But I just think the makeup of Ohio State is built for these moments to be able to beat a team like Indiana, right? But this is honestly the game I want to see, right? The Big Ten has really not been Big Ten in all year. To me personally, like, it's really been no competition in those games. You see most of these matchups there, the Ohio State and Indiana's blowing teams out because, teams can't compete with them in a matter of players, style, and things of that nature. So I think Ohio State gets it done today. And with Ohio State winning, I think Indiana probably moved to maybe that number 5 spot, right? See, so now you got a lot of fluctuation. You got a lot of fluctuation in that top 12. So if Ohio State goes down to not Ohio State. Ohio State win, they'll stay at number 1. Indiana loses, they'll probably be in that number 5 spot. They'll replace Oregon, so that'll move Oregon down. So everybody, it's everybody's moving down. It's space going out. Like I said, the Bulldogs win, we move up to number 2. I think Alabama gets knocked out. I think Alabama gets knocked out if they lose. That's what I think. I mean, like I said, I don't. Do I feel like I still want to see them in the college football playoff? I do, because I still think they're one of the best 12 teams in the league, right? Granted, excuse me, but it's a lot of moving parts in this, right? Again, I think Oklahoma, Texas A&M, Ole Miss, Oregon, all 4 of them are safe. All 4 of them are guaranteed playoff spots. Again, we got Tulane, so that's 5 teams right now. Notre Dame is a up and down. Honestly, if you ask me, if Alabama loses to Georgia, do I think Notre Dame? I feel like this should happen too, right? Those 10 through 12 spots, those 9 through 12 spots, they need to play. They need to play for spots. They need to play for positioning, right? If it's the college football playoffs, excuse me, if it's the college football playoffs, those 4 teams need to play for position ranking. 9 through 12, they need to play. 9 and 10 need to play. 11 and 12 need to play. If 10 beats 9, 10 go to 9. If 9 loses, 9 go to 10. If 12 wins, 12 go to 11. If 11 loses, 11 go to 12, right? I feel like they need to put them games in the same weekend of the Army-Navy game. Those 4 games need to be played right there. So, I mean, those 3 games need to play. Army-Navy game and teams 9 through 12 need to compete for that position ranking right there. That's my opinion. So yeah, so those teams are in. Like I said, if Alabama loses, I think they should replace Notre Dame because then you still got to have the ACC championship, the ACC champion, because there's no way the ACC doesn't have um. It's no way the ACC does not have what's the word I'm looking for? A representative, right? There we go. I about to say replacement, a representative. So, because right now they got number 12 Miami, and they're out of the ACC, and they're not even in the ACC championship. So if you have Virginia wins the ACC, they're going to replace Miami, in my opinion, right? You still got the BYU Texas Tech matchup. If BYU wins, BYU is the number 4 team now. They're in their top 4 teams, right? Texas Tech still got to have a position. So I really honestly hope a lot of the underdogs win today, besides Indiana, because that's not really gonna make up too much of a mess right there. Those top 14. But if BYU beats Texas Tech, if Alabama beats Georgia, that's gonna make a lot of fluctuate. That's gonna fluctuate the college football playoffs. That's really gonna make the committee sit here like, man, who is the best 12 teams out of these top 12 right now? Not even in the top 12. Just who are going to be the best top 12 teams in the college football playoff? Because again, Tulane just won their conference title yesterday. They're going to be 11 or 12 seed. They're making the college football playoffs. I mean, this is what I love to see, man. The college football playoff era has really been exciting. It's been a lot of drama, but it's a lot of different things that got to go right to make it easier on the committee. And I don't like that. I don't like having the committee make easy decisions. I want to see them make difficult choices and see who's in and who's out based on the best 12 teams. So again, today at 12 p.m. on ABC, we got number 4 Texas Tech hosting number 11 BYU for their second matchup of the year. I'm taking Texas Tech to win over BYU, even though I would love to see BYU play much better, right? BYU and Texas Tech, they both came into the season undefeated. Well, no, not well. Everybody came into the season undefeated, but they came into the matchup undefeated early this year, if I'm not mistaken. When Texas Tech dominated BYU early this year at home, both teams came into that matchup at with 1 loss, if I'm not mistaken. No. No. Yeah. BYU only loss was to Texas Tech, and Texas Tech lost to a team earlier this year. Who did they lose to? Texas Tech lost to Arizona State, right? Arizona State. So Texas Tech's lone loss was to Arizona State, and BYU's lone loss was to Texas Tech. So I expect BYU to come play a much better football, right? The way they showed what type of football they played this past matchup against Texas Tech was not, what they stood for. And then being led by a freshman, right? This freshman is playing lights out, right? Bear Bachimer, Bear. I hope I pronounced his last name right, but being led by a true freshman, right? I think he's more confident at this time of the year. He's had a full season under his belt. He's not a freshman anymore, and I think he's going to come and be competitive. And I see this game being more competitive than what it is. And hopefully BYU comes through with an upset. Like I said, I want to see the committee sweat. I want to see the committee make tough decisions to get the best 12 teams, because that's what it's supposed to be about, right? The best 12 teams in the college football playoffs. So that's kicking off championship weekend today. ABC on 12 p.m. on ABC. Number 4 Texas Tech hosting number 11 BYU for the Big 12 championship. Again, at 4 p.m. today on ABC, we got the best conference in the league championship matchup today. Number 9 Alabama versus number 3 Georgia. Go Dogs. SEC championship today at 4 p.m. on ABC. Dogs coming out on top as back-to-back SEC champions. Later on tonight at 8 p.m. on Fox, we got number 1 Ohio State hosting number 2 Indiana for the Big Ten championship, right? A matchup that everybody wants to see, juggernaut versus juggernaut, to see who's really the best in the Big Ten. What is going to happen there? Looking forward to it. And then tonight at 8 p.m. on ABC, number 17 Virginia hosting Duke. And I found out the way Duke end up getting into the ACC championship game. So actually, if Duke would have not lost, I mean, if SMU would have not lost, they would have gotten to into the conference, I mean, to the championship game, which is still weird. They are 6-2, right? Duke is 7-5 overall, right? But SMU has a overall record of, let's see here, okay, so they only one game ahead of them. So SMU had a record of 8-4, and Duke has a record of 7-5. But both teams are 6-2 in the ACC. There are literally 5 teams in the ACC with 6-2 records. But Duke has a win over NC State. Remember, Miami lost to NC State. So and Miami lost to SMU. Right, so which I still don't understand why SMU didn't make the matchup. I don't think SMU and Duke played this year, right? So I don't know where their tiebreakers comes in, but Duke is representing the ACC, and the Virginia Cavaliers are representing the ACC. So we shall see how that matchup plays out later on tonight at 8 p.m. as well on ABC. So, again, I'm looking forward to see the matchups, and my prediction from the final 12 that I'm thinking based off college football playoff victory this weekend. I see okay, this will be my top 12 after the championship weekend. So right now, based off the 12 teams in the college football playoffs, this will be my top 12 right now. It will be number 1, Ohio State. It will be number 2, Georgia, because we would definitely move up over Indiana. We will be the number 2 seed. It will be number 1 Ohio State, number 2 Georgia. It will be number 3 Texas Tech. It will be, I don't know, if Indiana lose, they might go to number 4. They might go to number 4. So let's do that. Let's do that. Ohio State number 1, Georgia number 2, Texas Tech number 3, Indiana number 4. Number 5 is Oregon. Number 6, Ole Miss. Number 7, Texas A&M. Number 8, Oklahoma. Number 9 is Notre Dame, because I think Alabama loses, they're out. This is my opinion. I think they're out. Alabama's out. Number 10 would probably be, I don't know, y'all. Miami might find a way to get in here, because if Indiana loses, right? If BYU loses, that's out. So they give Miami room to squeeze in, right? Which, whatever. I don't know how, but if Notre Dame make it, I think Miami got to make it based on the results from this weekend. So number 1 Ohio State, number 2 Georgia, number 3 Texas Tech, number 4 Indiana, number 5 Oregon, number 6 Ole Miss, number 7 Texas A&M, number 8 Oklahoma, number 9 Notre Dame, number 10 Miami. Actually, I want Vanderbilt in the college football playoffs. Vanderbilt is 10-2 right now. They're sitting at number 14. So I'm going to put Vanderbilt at number 10. I'm going to move Notre Dame up to number 9. I'm going to put Vanderbilt in at number 10. I'm going to put Vanderbilt at number 10. I'm going to put Tulane at number 11. I'm going to put an ACC champion. I'm going to pick Virginia to win that game. I'm going to put Virginia at number 12. So after championship weekend, that's my predicted college football playoff championship. That's my college football playoff final 12. Number 1 Ohio State, number 2 Georgia, number 3 Texas Tech, number 4 Indiana, number 5 Oregon, number 6 Ole Miss, number 7 Texas A&M, number 8 Oklahoma, number 9 Notre Dame, number 10 Miami. No. Number 9 Notre Dame, number 10 will be Tulane, number 11 Virginia, number 12 Vanderbilt. That's my 12. Yeah. Ohio State, Georgia, Texas Tech, Indiana, Oregon, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, Oklahoma, Notre Dame. Who else had number 10? Notre Dame, Tulane, Virginia, Vanderbilt. That's my 12. That's my 12. I'm sticking to it. So I'm looking forward to it, man. It's gonna be some good games later on today. Pull back up on the next week's Sports Huddle to have the final college football playoff reveal for this year until the college football playoff starts. So I'm looking forward to it. Moving on to the NBA. NBA season for this past weekend. Know that my cousin spoke about They're not being a back-to-back playoff, back-to-back champion since the Warriors in that Kevin Durant run era. I don't know, cousin. The Oklahoma City Thunder, them boys, they just looking the best right now. You got the Oklahoma City Thunder at a 22-1 record. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had 33 points in 3 quarters last night. He's not even playing full games, and they have 22 wins already, right? Their team has not even been fully healthy, and they already have 22 wins on the season and 1 loss. I mean, wow, man. These guys are just playing on a different level right now. So we had some pretty solid games last night. We had the Hawks give up one late last night against the Nuggets. We were up for the most part of the first half. Really, we were up going into the fourth quarter, right? But we allowed the Nuggets to score 80 points in the second half, and we only scored 60 points, and we only lost by 1 point. You know what I'm saying? So like, we got to be a better basketball team overall. Excuse me. The Nuggets defeated the Hawks last night, 134 to 133. Again, the Pacers, the Thunder, right? The Thunder are just continuing to find ways to win. The Thunder defeated the Mavericks last night, 132 to 111. The 76ers defeated the Bucks, 116 to 107. 116 to 101. The Grizzlies defeated the Clippers, 107 to 98. The Rockets defeated the Suns, 117 to 98. The Pacers defeated the Bulls, 120 to 105. The Hornets absolutely dominated the Raptors, 111 to 86. The Pistons defeated the Trailblazers 122 to 116. The Knicks dominated the Jazz 146 to 112. The Cavaliers defeated the Spurs 130 to 117. The Magic defeated the Heat 106 to 105. The Celtics defeated the Lakers last night by 21, 126 to 105. From Thursday's matchup, I forgot to go back to Thursday. The 76ers won in a close one with a buzzer beater by Tyrese Maxey. I don't know how you pronounce his name. 99 and 98. That was a good game up in Philly. The Celtics absolutely dominated the Wizards 146 to 101. The Jazz defeated the Nets 123 to 110. The Lakers defeated the Raptors 123 to 120, and the Timberwolves defeated the Pelicans 125 to 116. Let's go every team against the Pelicans. We need that top 5 pick this year coming up. For today's matchups, kicking off at 5 p.m., we got the Nets hosting the Pelicans. Tonight at 7:30 p.m. on NBA TV, we got the Cavaliers hosting the Warriors. We got the Wizards hosting the Hawks. We got the Bucks going up against the Pistons. We got the Heat hosting the Kings. We got the Clippers going up against the Timberwolves, and we have the Mavericks hosting the Rockets. For Sunday's matchups tomorrow at 12 p.m., we got the Knicks hosting the Magic. We got the Celtics going up against the Raptors. We got the Hornets hosting the Nuggets. We got the Trailblazers going up against the Grizzlies. We got the Bulls hosting the Warriors. We got the Lakers going up against the 76ers. And we got the Jazz hosting the Thunder. So again, the Jazz have a commanding lead in the NBA right now, 22 wins and 1 loss. The second closest team to them is the Detroit Pistons with 18 wins and 5 losses. So I mean, this Mavericks, not this Mavericks team, this Thunder team is just playing on a different level right now when it comes to professional basketball. So be on the lookout as more updates come from the NBA season and some look ahead to things that are going to happen. Something I'm really looking forward to that my cousin mentioned as well. Make sure y'all go check out my cousin Papa Dennis, host of Just Unconventional Podcast. He mentioned the All-Star Weekend, the USA versus the world, right? That's going to open a lot of different eyes for people who really not seeing the trajectory of the NBA and how many people and how many stars in the NBA are not American. That's going to open a lot of people's eyes and see like, man, right? This NBA has been taken over by international players, and it's not even close, right? It's not even close. So you got guys like Ant-Man, Jason Tatum, the guys like that who are really trying to, take the NBA back. But man, the international players, they own the NBA right now, and it's scary hours. Moving on to NCAA Men's Top 25. NCAA Men's Top 25 last night games. We had a top 25 ranked matchup where number 11 Gonzaga absolutely put belt to tail on the Kentucky Wildcats in the top 25 ranked matchup, 94 to 59. Number 11 Gonzaga over number 18 Kentucky. Then we had number 5 UConn defeat East Texas A&M, 83 to 59. For today's matchups, we got a top 10 matchup kicking off today. We got a couple of top 10 matchups today kicking off at noon. We have number 1 Purdue hosting number 10 Iowa State at 12 p.m. on CBS. Then we have number 7 Michigan State hosting number 4 Duke at 12 p.m. on Fox. Followed by those games, we have another top 25 ranked matchup. Number 22, Indiana hosting number 6, Louisville at 2:15 p.m. today on CBS. Number 3, Michigan hosting Rutgers. Number 25, Arkansas hosting Fresno State. Number 24, USC hosting Washington. Number 8, Houston hosting Florida State at 8 p.m. on Peacock. We got a top 25 ranked matchup tonight at 8 p.m. on ESPN. We got number 13, Tennessee hosting number 14, Illinois. We got number 23, St. John's hosting Ole Miss. And tonight we have number 2, Arizona hosting number 20, Auburn at 10 p.m. on ESPN. For Sunday's matchups in the NCAA men's top 25, 1 p.m. tomorrow on ESPN2, we got number 21, Kansas hosting Missouri. Number 12, Alabama hosting UTSA at 2 p.m. tomorrow on the SEC Network. Number 19, Texas Tech on the road against LSU tomorrow at 3 p.m. on ESPN2. Number 16, North Carolina hosting Georgetown at 5 p.m. tomorrow on ESPN. And we have number 11, Gonzaga hosting North Florida tomorrow night at 9 p.m. So be on the lookout as the Sports Huddle continues this upcoming Thursday for NCAA men's top 25. As we move on to NCAA women's top 25 matchups from this week, you see, I ain't do the whip this time, ladies. I got y'all. I made sure I pressed the right button. Thursday's matchups, we had a top 25 ranked matchup in the ACC SEC Women's Challenge. We had number 3 South Carolina defeat number 22 Louisville in a close one, 79-77. We had number 2 Texas defeat number 11 North Carolina in a top 15 ranked matchup, 79-64. We had number 5 LSU defeat Duke, but their 100-point game win streak came to an end. They defeated Duke 93-77. And then we had a top 20 ranked matchup between number 13 Ole Miss and number 18 Notre Dame. Ole Miss defeated Notre Dame 69-62. For Friday's matchup last night, we had number 25 West Virginia defeat Mercyhurst 97-51. I think that deserves a whooping. For today's matchups, kicking off at 2 p.m., we got number 8 TCU hosting UTEP, number 24 Oklahoma State hosting Mississippi Valley State, and then tonight at 6 p.m. on FS1, we got number 12 Iowa on the road against Rutgers. For Sunday's matchups in the NCAA Women's Top 25, kicking off tomorrow at 12 p.m. on the SEC Network, we have number 3 South Carolina hosting NC Central, number 6 Michigan hosting Purdue, number 11 North Carolina hosting Boston University at 12 p.m. on the ACC Network, number 17 Kentucky hosting Central Michigan, number 22 Louisville hosting New Hampshire at 12 p.m. on the ACC Extra, number 1 UConn hosting DePaul at 1 p.m. on FS1, number 10 Iowa State hosting Northern Illinois, number 18 Notre Dame on the road against Florida State tomorrow at 2 p.m. on the ACC Extra, number 23 Ohio State going up against Northwestern, number 2 Texas hosting Prairie View, number 4 UCLA hosting Oregon tomorrow at 3 p.m. on FS1, number 9 Oklahoma hosting Middle Eastern, number 13 Ole Miss going up against Kansas State, number 14 Baylor hosting UTSA, number 5 LSU going up against New Orleans, number 7 Maryland going up against Minnesota, number 20 Michigan State going up against Wisconsin, and we got a top 25 ranked matchup tomorrow night at 8 p.m. on the Big Ten Network, number 6 hosting number 21 Washington. So pull back up on a Thursday Sports Huddle to get updated information to the NCAA men's and women's top 25. Wrapping up the Sports Huddle today, National Hockey League results from Thursday and Friday is as follows. We had some pretty solid matchups Thursday and Friday in the National Hockey League. Thursday's results are as follows. We had the Bruins defeat the Blues 5-2. We had the Rangers defeat the Senators 4-2. The Penguins defeated the Lightning 4-3. Predators defeated the Panthers 2-1. The Islanders defeated the Avalanche 6-3. The Maple Leafs defeated the Hurricanes 5-1. The Blue Jackets defeated the Red Wings 6-5. The Flames defeated the Wild 4-1. The Oilers defeated the Kraken 9-4. And the Blackhawks defeated the Kings 2-1. For Friday's matchups, we had the Golden Knights defeat the Devils 3-0. The Sabres fell to the Jets 4-1. The Sharks fell to the Stars 4-1. The Mammoth defeated the Canucks 4-1, and the Ducks defeated the Capitals. For today's matchups, kicking off at 12:30, we had the Rangers hosting the Avalanche, the Blue Jackets going up against the Panthers, the Bruins hosting the Devils, the Canadiens going up against the Maple Leafs, the Senators hosting the Blues, the Islanders going up against the Lightning, the Hurricanes hosting the Predators. Tonight at 7 p.m. on the National Hockey League Network, you have the Flames hosting the Mammoth, The Blackhawks going up against the Kings. The Oilers hosting the Jets. The Wild going up against the Canucks. And we have the Kraken hosting the Red Wings. For Sunday's matchups in the National Hockey League, kicking off tomorrow at 1 p.m. on the National Hockey League Network, we have the Flyers hosting the Avalanche, the Islanders going up against the Panthers, the Hurricanes hosting the Sharks, the Penguins going up against the Stars, the Canadiens hosting the Blues. Tomorrow night at 7 p.m. on the National Hockey League Network, we have the Rangers hosting the Golden Knights, the Blue Jackets going up against the Capitals, and the Ducks hosting the Blackhawks. And for all games that are not on prime time or are not on channels. ESPN Plus has all the coverage on the National Hockey League. Every game can be found on ESPN Plus. So make sure y'all pull up, check them out. For the ones who love hockey and follow it more than I do. Again, I want to be able to grow more into the sport and learn more about it. But again, it's kind of hard because I don't really have time to watch it. And again, it's not on the main channel. Even though I have ESPN Plus and stuff like that, but I just kind of have to make time to get involved in watching it, right? I love going to the hockey game. I've been to one hockey game, one of the greatest experiences in my life. But I want to kind of get more involved into being more informed and more aware of what hockey brings and what hockey is made up of. So looking forward to it. Again, it's been a sports huddle today, man. I'm looking forward to the events that go on today. Have a great spiritual meeting that I'll be tuning into via remote conference. Also, looking forward to today's championship matchup, right? Big 12, SEC championship, Big 10, and the ACC championship. All champions will be decided today, and the final college football playoff 12 will be next week. So looking forward to it. What's that coming down the track? It's the Mean Machine in red and black, baby. Go Dogs, sick 'em. Let's do it. And again, baby, this is Grateful Gab Sports Huddle. As always, give Jehovah God glory for life today. Each and every day is a blessing, man. Fly Eagles fly. Go Dogs. Until next time. Peace.